In today's video, I've got quite the quirky guitar to show you. We're going to be looking at the Gibson 2014 Baritone SG in Alpine White. And if you're a fan of Buckethead, you'll notice how similar this looks to his signature line of Les Pauls. So let's turn back the time and take a look at this awesome, rare Gibson guitar. Hello guys, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury drum machines here in Nottingham, England. As I mentioned in the intro, this is the Gibson 2014 Baritone scale length SG in Alpine White. And it looks very similar to the Buckethead Les Pauls that he released in this era. If you don't know, Buckethead is a guitar virtuoso. He's mainly known for his unique shredding style and his instrumental masterpieces, but he has also played lead guitar for Guns N' Roses. But he also has this side to his playing which is very melodic and very clean. He has this beautiful kind of lo-fi guitar sound on tracks such as Aunt Susie and Whitewash. I would really recommend checking him out if you haven't already. His signature Buckethead Gibson Les Paul is as iconic as him. It's such a smooth design, it has no fretboard inlays, it has this oversized Les Paul body and obviously baritone scale length, so the guitar is a lot bigger and fits Buckethead a lot better. If we pair that with the cool red arcade switches, which are kill switches, and the open coil pickups with the white bobbins, this guitar is an absolute striking piece. Other than maybe the Dave Grohl signature, this is probably the most popular signature model that Gibson have ever released. On the second-hand market, they can go up to 5 to 6 to 7 grand on the UK market. And that just goes to show how much people love these guitars and how rare they are. But you might be asking, how does that fit into our SG for today? Well, it's important to note that this guitar has very similar specs to the Buckethead Les Paul. However, it's obviously an SG format, and there were some rumours that this was actually the original Buckethead signature. That he created an SG shape which was oversized, a longer scale length, and had his hot pickups that he wanted. Obviously there's no confirming that and it's just a rumour, but I did read that today whilst researching on today's video. So let's pull this Baritone SG out of its case and see what we're dealing with in today's episode. So here we are, this is the Gibson Baritone SG from 2014, and as we mentioned, it's basically the unofficial Buckethead signature SG. These guitars are so cool. I just think the white finish offset against the dark kind of rich light fretboard with no fretboard inlays just creates a really haunting, ghostly guitar which really fits Buckethead's vibe. I just really wish they took one of these volume knobs out and added a red arcade switch for a kill switch, but obviously we don't, unfortunately. This is like a mega sized SG. As you can see on my body, it's an oversized shape, so it's a little bit bigger than a natural SG. So let's start from the body. We've got a mahogany body. For it being oversized, it's still very light. Obviously got these lovely bevels of an SG. As it's a little bit bigger, it's a little more pronounced, and we have this white nitrocellulose lacquer. Usually white finishes don't age too well, but as you can see from this, it's doing really well, other than a little mark here where it's been burnt a little bit by a guitar stand or just aged. You can see here on the neck pickup as well, we've got a little bit of creaming over, and near the headstock there's a little bit of stand rash there. But nothing too bad. There is a lot worse examples of white finishes as they age. In terms of pickups on this one, we have the 496R and the 500T humbuckers, which are very hot output pickups, and we have Alnico 5 magnets. We've got a three-way switch, we've got 2 volumes, 2 tones, and these are coil splittable, meaning that these 2 pickups can split down to single coils. We have the Nashville style bridge with a stop tailpiece. As we work our way down to the neck, obviously we've got a rich light fretboard, as this was 2014, so they're prohibited from using ebony. We have 24 frets on this one, and the only other model that I can think that uses 24 frets is the Tony Iommi SG. The body meets the neck around the 17th fret, so that gives you an idea of access. We've got a D-shaped profile on this one. It is quite thick still, but it's very wide. You can definitely feel that as you play it. As we work our way down to the headstock, I love this headstock. Obviously, it's whited out with that black crown logo, the Gibson logo there, and the typical kind of bell truss rod cover. We've got the chrome Grover tuners, which are used on the Buckethead model as well. And that's pretty much all the specs of this amazing guitar. It takes a little bit to get used to playing a baritone, but just naturally they have so much volume and so much rich frequencies. They seem to just ring like a bell, and I can't wait to show you that in the tone demo today. I've got this guitar set up in E flat because that's how Buckethead plays his, and I'll make sure to play some kind of iconic Buckethead riffs, but I'll also show you just some general tones of this amazing guitar. For today's tone demo, I'm going to be plugging into my Kemper Profiler. I'm going to be using an AC30 as my bass kind of tone, and then I'm going to be layering some distortion pedals over to get that saturation for the Buckethead stuff. So let's plug this guitar in and see how she sounds. So guys, welcome to the tone demo. I've got this guitar all set up in E flat, ready to go. I'm going to struggle to get it all in frame as it's such a long guitar, but I'll make sure to put it to the side a little bit. But this is the tone that I used in the intro of today's video to play over Soothsayer. So I've got kind of like a room style reverb. I've got my AC30 preset, which sounds like this. And I layer on top of that just a tube screamer, which is quite hot. I'm actually just going to boost this gain a little bit so I get the... You'll hear just on basic chords how thick this SG sounds. It's got such a thick sound. So let's play some Buckethead and see how she sounds. Definitely the biggest, ballsiest SG I've ever heard. It has so much bass end for an SG. Typically, SGs can be quite scratchy, but this has a lot of definition. Great metal guitar. With the longer scale length, it is a lot harder to play kind of standard blues phrases, just because obviously the scale length is so bigger, the string tension is larger, therefore the string needs to move further in order to get that same kind of vibrato. I'm now going to just play some classic riffs that you'd normally hear on an SG, and just to show you really how much thicker this SG sounds. So let's hear the classic. This D-shaped profile really kind of supports that more classical kind of shredder style with the thumb lower on the neck rather than over. And it really makes you play a lot cleaner for me anyway. I find that I'm usually kind of attracted to the more rounded necks where I can bring the thumb over and play more bluesy, but this is definitely bringing me more into that kind of classical positioning. Obviously we know it can do metal and rock, but how does it do with the clean tones? And let's try out some of these coil split tones. Best way to do some clean tones is always with a loop, but we're going to start off with just a few chords just to hear the basic tones that you get. So that's the neck pickup coil split. This is in humbucker mode. Bridge pickup split. So I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the bridge humbucker split. It sounds a little bit too kind of out of phase. It has that kind of quacky sound. But I really like the neck one. I think it sounds very piano-like and it's very usable on that kind of more neo-soul sound. I definitely much prefer the kind of humbucker tone, that's this tone now. The answer is yes, it definitely can do some clean tones. So let's finish off with a loop and play some Buckethead. So guys, that brings us to the end of another video. I have to say, I really enjoyed filming today's video. Although this isn't an official Buckethead signature, I really enjoyed playing some Soothsayer, Welcome to Buckethead Land. I really enjoyed playing on this one. And I always enjoy playing a baritone. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time to get used to because it's harder to bend and vibrato, but the riffs on this guitar just sound incredible. If you want a riff machine with loads of bass and mid, then I'd really recommend trying one of these oversized SGs or Les Pauls. And if you're lucky enough to get your hands on a Buckethead signature, then make sure to keep it because it's a beautiful guitar. I love the design of this guitar, it's in great condition, obviously just a little bit of a mark near the headstock and the neck pickup has gone a little bit creamed out. But other than that, in a really good condition for being about 10 years old. But most importantly guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think of this guitar? Do you love it or do you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. And do you own any Gibson signature Buckethead Les Pauls, or do you own a Baritone SG? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear about your guys' collection. But thank you so much for watching Squealing Pig Guitars. My name is Ben Keightley, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking guys. I'll see you soon.